I got y'all real quick. Make sure you hit the like button on this video because we grinded on this video, man. We are grinding. Make sure you spam the like button though. But I got something great in store for y'all. I had to cue the music. But today, if anybody knows that music right there, and well, of course, if you read the title, today we're talking about Dave Ramsey. And we're talking about why I don't like Dave Ramsey. Cool guy, but I'm not a fan of his principles, his values. It's not the perfect information. It's not the greatest information out there. And the reason why I say that, so Dave Ramsey, first to understand why he has these principles, you gotta understand his background. So Dave Ramsey, back in the day, around his early 20s, he got into a lot of debt. He was flipping houses. And with flipping houses, you're leveraging money and using a lot of debt to finance these houses. And what he did, he got into financial trouble. He couldn't sell the house, and he got into a lot of debt. And he went bankrupt. He was a millionaire, and then he went bankrupt, struggling, and he had to find a way to get himself out of debt. So with that experience, he is now scared of credit. He's scared of credit cards, anything that has to do with debt. And now he no longer uses debt at all. And he tells his viewers and his watchers to stay away from credit cards, don't use debt, don't worry about your credit score, don't finance your house, etc., etc., etc. And the problem with this is we live in a world, especially in the United States, where credit is very important. Having a credit score is very important. You can't get certain perks if you don't have a credit score. You can't help finance different things if you don't have a credit score. A credit score is very, very important in this world, and if you don't have one, it really hurts you. You can't get certain jobs if you don't have a credit score because it shows that you're trustworthy to different employers. So I feel like that's flawed information. I get he comes from a good place, and he's trying to save people that are not able to manage money well. Just stay away from it. It's like playing with fire. So if you don't know how to maneuver fire well or do it correctly, it's going to burn you. But if you do know how to use fire and you use it correctly, it can light the way for you. It can set you on new heights and allow you to expand your lifestyle. So I think the principle needs to be, instead of being fearful of debt, be able to learn how to handle debt. For example, with credit cards, I have a whole bunch of credit cards. I don't even know how many I have offhand. I know I have a lot though. And with credit cards, everything I spend, I put it on the credit card. As soon as I buy something, food, gas, clothing, whatever I buy, immediately put it on the credit card. And the reason why I do that is because I get credit points. So like my Chase points, my Discover points, I might get 5% back. So if I'm spending $1,000, I'll get $50 back. If I'm spending whatever, I'm getting money back. And what that gives me the opportunity to do, for example, with Chase, I can take that $50 and transfer it into their credit point system. And what I can do with those points, I can buy flights, I can go to certain hotels for free with these points. So it expands my lifestyle more than just using a pure debit card or pure cash would do. All right, side note, guys, I just wanted y'all to see this. Look at this. My credit card makes me a lot of money. Why should I get rid of it? Good point, good point, good point. And this is the Dave Ramsey. So see what I'm talking about? I just had to record this. I was watching the video real quick, and I just finished recording it. I just wanted to show that with y'all. Maybe y'all can go check that video out as well. But that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of opportunity if you use debt, if you understand how to use debt correctly. Maybe I'll play a little bit of this, see what he got to say. That's what I'm talking about. You got to make sure.
Carol is calling from Indiana. Carol, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay, we watched too much. I ain't trying to get copyrighted. But y'all can go watch that video on your own if y'all want to. But that's how it goes. You just got to make sure you do it correctly. Do it correctly, and you'll be okay. But that's going to wrap it up. Again, we'll get, back into it. So if I'm spending $4,000 a month and somebody else is spending $4,000 a month and they're using pure cash, they're just wasting cash. But when I use it on a credit card, I'm able to get points back, which I can expand my lifestyle to go on a trip every now and then. I can use it to buy extra things I may need. And what that does is saves me money. So if you're following this principle of, okay, I'm not going to use a credit card because I'm scared of it, now you've missed out on these trips that you could have taken. You've missed out on saving some little money here and there that you could have gotten. So it makes no sense. It's a matter of just understanding, okay, I got to do this correctly. I'm playing with fire here. Fire can either light the way or it can burn me. You just need to be educated on how to use it. And especially on the business standpoint, if you don't know how to use credit. So let's say you get a house, and let's take person A and person B. If person A gets a house and pays for it all cash, they wasted all that cash. But if you have person B that's able to use credit and put $10,000 on house one, $10,000 on house two, $10,000 on house three, they now have three houses with some debt. So they have 10, 10, 10. They're controlling more houses and able to bring in more money. So I'm able to control more property with my debt, the debt that I borrowed from people. So the person with just cash, they just have one property, and now they have no cash, and they can't maneuver themselves as easily as somebody with three different properties could do because they're leveraged up. Yes, it can be dangerous. You have to do it correctly, but the principle needs to be, okay, this can be dangerous, but once you learn how to do it, once you learn how to do it correctly, it's almost like driving a car. When you first get in a car, it's hard. You may press on the brake too hard. You may press on the gas too hard. You may not know where the different gears are, but once you get comfortable with that, and you understand, okay, this isn't a scary thing. I just know this is how the numbers work. This is how the math works. I need to pay this off at a certain time. It teaches you how to correctly bring cash flow in. And another thing he doesn't teach is good and bad debt. He thinks all debt is bad. Like, that makes no sense. All debt is not bad. Okay, if you're spending $10,000 on Gucci shoes and Gucci whatever and blah, 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 stuff like that, okay, that's bad because you have to send that money out and pay for it with interest, potentially, if you're not paying it off on time. But there's also good debt. And good debt is when you put $10,000 into an investment and it brings you back more money than you put in. That's good debt. You want a lot of good debt. And him teaching his viewers everything is bad, everything about debt is bad, that hinders them from being able to learn about good debt and how to invest and how to get in good debt. So make sure you know who you're listening to, because everything they say is not perfect. Yes, he has some good principles about getting out of debt. Yes, he has some good financial tips on how to maneuver money a certain way and budget. And yes, I use his budget thing because he has some amazing budget principles. But from the debt standpoint, he comes from a place where he's scared of debt so much so that he's not able to use it. And that scared of debt and scared of money from a certain standpoint also affects his investing principles. So he tells people to get a 401k and put a whole bunch of it in mutual funds, just straight mutual funds. And a lot of people don't even know what mutual funds are. Mutual funds are something you put your money in, you don't know where it went, you barely know the person that's managing it. So you get somebody else to manage your money and they do whatever with it, and they bring back a little bit every year. It's really slow. If somebody's looking to get rich, you don't want to use mutual funds. It's going to take you a solid 30, 40 years. You're going to be walking with a cane by the time you're a millionaire. That's so slow. It's not helpful to people. For the average Joe that wants to get, have a nice retirement that makes sense, yes, but it's incredibly slow, and there's other methods to become a millionaire and become financially free other than just sitting it in mutual funds. You're getting like 5-10% a year. It's very slow. What are you going to do with 5-10% a year? You got to do it 30-40 years. You're going to be basically dead by the time your money really grows pretty crazy. And the funny thing about it is, he tells people the way to get rich is to invest in mutual funds. But yes, he does it. but he does something else as well. He opens up a business. He has his own business selling things to people. He sells courses to people. He sells his advice to people, yet he tells people to get in a slow investment. He tells people to get this nice little 10% return a year and everything is going to be great. But no, on the other end, he's doing other things. He has real estate properties. He has a business that's making him millions and millions of dollars. Yet he tells people to invest in the slow stuff over there. So that's why I don't like that you're telling people one thing, but you're doing another. Yes, he dabbles in mutual funds. Of course, you got to put it in there. Yeah, I mess with mutual funds a little bit. But that's not making him the most of his money. That's not making him the bulk of his money. He's not becoming a millionaire investing in mutual funds, because no one's going to become rich investing in mutual funds. So for the people holding on to advice, expecting to get rich off of mutual funds, you're not going to do it. You have to follow what he does. Look at what he does and not what he says. He sells books. He has a business. He has loads of real estate property. There's a reason why he got into real estate in his early 20s, blew it, and then went right back to real estate, because he knew it was the avenue to do it. He just had to figure out the right way to get into it correctly. And that just comes with time. So I like Dave Ramsey. He has a lot of great financial advice and financial tips, but just make sure you're getting your information from a lot of different sources, like the Grant Cardones, the Ty Lopez's, and different people and different mentors you may have, because taking one person's advice sometimes can lead you astray, because they may not know everything that's going on. He's great. He's like the best at budgeting, best at getting you out of debt. But for getting rich and cutting up credit cards and stuff like that, that's where he definitely lacks in that aspect. So that's going to wrap it up for the video. That's exactly why I don't like Dave Ramsey's advice. If you have a different opinion, make sure you put it down in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you love Dave Ramsey's advice? Do you take his advice as gospel? And what do you think about his advice? Have you read any of his books? I've read a couple of them. They're pretty good, pretty decent books. But let me know down in the comment section down below. But that's going to wrap it up. It's been your boy, Blessed Applesauce. Stay blessed. And I'm going to see you next time on Blessed to Invest.
Just to see tomorrow is a blessing. Stay prayed up is the message. Everything about a nigga blessed. Everything about a nigga blessed.